And we are live. Just waiting for the screen to pop up. See how it goes. Hello. Come on. And there we go. It is live. There we have it. Alrighty. What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to talk to you guys about the ND filters. These ND filters. What's up, Hot Rod? These ones are the ND filters that were sent to me by Regional Topo. There we go. As you guys can see, this one right here is the filter that is the original of this drone. So I'm still having one installed at this point. Haven't taken it off. What's up, Kaipo? And you guys can hear me good? What's up, JR? Can you hear me good? Give me a thumbs up. Anybody? I know there's a delay in there, so gotta wait for the chat to come through. But yeah, so to go through these ND filters, what's up, Seawater? I just seen your message. I just clicked on my own link and I've seen it that it's not available. I guess they are all sold out. I had it through, I just checked the other day. I had 6 filters that were purchased through my link. So I'm not sure how many filters Amazon actually has available. So I'll just have to wait until they restock it. I don't know how fast Freewell is shipping out everything to Amazon and whatnot. Loud and clear, very good. You have a typo in your name. I have a typo in my name? No, there's no typo in my name on screen. On screen in my typo, there's a typo in my name? No, there's no typo in my name. Anyways, but yeah, so the biggest issue that most people facing with this is that this gimbal cover does not fit with either the CPL or any of the polarized filters. And that is true because I almost scratched up one of them in this last stream when I was live, and I actually tried to take the gimbal cover off, and it was bad. Yes, state. The 3 is the E, so it's kind of a modern thing, I guess. Hope they sell 4, 8, 16, and 32s. I don't need all those. Yeah, I'm kind of like on your side with that one, JR, because I'm mainly using the 4, 8, and the 16s. The 32s and 64s, I only tested them out for the video that I made, and they're actually just for direct sunlight. But even that is almost like flying with HDR. So it's like everything else is like super dark. I tried to play around with the aperture for that stuff to have like with 16s. I was flying against the sun, but it was still super bright. So I turned down the aperture almost to like f8, I think. And the footage turned out pretty good. It's going to be in the next Head Talk video about these filters. But I figured I'm going to do a live stream about this first. And I ordered the EVO 2 Pro and have been watching your channel daily. Shit, I appreciate that, Seawater. I do need the view time. I currently short, I think, like 1,000 watch hours. I built up like 3,000 watch hours within the last 2 months, all because of this drone, I guess. I'm having a lot of fun with this thing, so you're definitely gonna have fun with that sucker. Did you try that defog mode? I did try the defog mode, Hot Rod, and I do not like it. I'm sorry. It kind of like when I looked at it afterwards, I mean, yeah, it does. I think all it pushes up is the blues so that the fog is not as noticeable, but everything else turns bluish too. Like I've seen that my trees started turning bluish, and I'm not a big fan of it. So the ND filters, on the other hand, man, you need ND filters for this sucker. Like definitely. What the biggest thing about these ND filters, what they do is that you can keep your shutter speed double of your FPS. And that's the key to this whole thing. That's like to get those cinematic shots. I don't even know if it's cinematic, whatever, in this type of price range. I think cinematic is overrated, that word. It's like to get really nice, fluid, buttery, smooth shots. I think you do need these filters because you can keep your shutter speed double of your FPS. So if you're filming in 24, keep it at 50 and so forth. And it makes the footage look so much more better when you render it afterwards. While I try to play around with shutter speed and aperture, mix it all up during the time when I was filming prior to this, having these filters, I always noticed that once in a while when you turn or when you go further up through a river and all that stuff, you had like those stutters in there, and they totally go away the moment you put on these filters and you keep the correct shutter speed with the FPS. I mean, it's obvious, but I'd use the ND64 for photos. Yeah, you can do that too. It's like super dark. I mean, everything else turns out really dark unless you don't have those direct sunlight intruding into the lens. Yeah. So, what's up, MTC Graphics? Yo, what's interesting about that double is that you have to have something that is moving in the video. Yeah, well, it's if you move, then your shot is moving, so that's pretty good. I also noticed I'm gonna try this in the studio right here, right now. I just hope that these freaking blades don't catch up on my wire over here. So, I noticed that people were complaining about that they couldn't adjust the gimbal with the ND filter on it, and I'm gonna try that right now because I had no issues as long as I use the 4816s, I believe. Um, I don't have no problems with it. I think what does it is the extra weight of the CPLs, because when you look at the thickness, I have that in my head talk video too. Let's see. Let's take off the regular. This is the regular, and then this is the. I don't know if you guys can really see the difference, but there is a difference in it whereby I would say almost 1/8 of a thickness in comparison to those CPL filters that have that spinning rim on top. And I believe that's the reason why they're heavier. And I think that's when the gimbal catches onto it. And that's what the gimbal doesn't like when it wants to adjust. So let's see if we do a gimbal calibration, if we're actually going to be able to arm this sucker. So I started it up just now. I know it's kind of dark because of this thing in the way, so you're not going to be ready to see it. But let's go on gimbal and gimbal automatic calibration. Starting calibration. So right now we should be able to see this sucker going. Yes, and it's going. Okay, I'm going to catch up on the chat right now. So, how does a car have natural motion? Well, a car doesn't because it goes in one direction. So, let's see. Gimbal is not ready. Do not fly. Yeah, it's not done yet, I guess. So those ones are usually the last motions that it does, and it is done. So the gimbal is not ready to fly. So you guys can see that it has those warning messages right now. The gimbal is not ready to fly, is not ready, do not fly. So now once I arm this sucker, I'm still able to utilize the gimbal and move it. So the gimbal is ready. It's just, it doesn't get rid of the message in the bottom for some reason. And it does keep everything centered. So even though the message shows up, it doesn't seem to have an issue. So it might be a software issue. Is that what it is? I usually don't have it. As soon as I take off, usually I don't have it. But as you can see, I'm just scared that this sucker is going off right now and it's tangling up my wire. Try not to have it. But yeah, as you can see, it still works. The gimbal does work. Let me turn all this off and catch up with the chat. So let me put that down. So yeah, these filters are really good though. I'm not the biggest fan though of the PL filters. The PL filters, they do that. when you rotate it, they come like super bright and kind of like darker on the other end. And it's, I don't know, I don't think that's really needed. So a smaller pack of Freewell would be greater and more affordable if it's just like 4/8/16s and then maybe a 32, throw a 32, the regular. Because the non-variable, because you only need variables if you do like photo shoots or video shoots with your camera. Because the camera, you're gonna hold the damn thing in your hand and you're gonna go like this. With this sucker being up in the air, yeah, you can bring them down and you can adjust them after you brought them down, but then you have to look at the screen. And it's, I don't know, it just doesn't really make sense because you can't play around with the aperture and stuff. So I'm not a big fan of it. Let's see. I'm still getting the gimbal warning with the ND4 on startup. On startup? Damn. Yeah, because when I put these on a foot scale, and they are only like slightly a few grams bigger than the actual cover itself. Like they only wear like 2 grams, if even 2 grams. Like by it's like off by hairs, and it's really the only difference is like really these CPL filters and the PL filters. Those ones are the ones that are really heavier because of that ring and stuff that they have around it. Ask Autel if in the future you can add the zoom to one of the roller and configure the back, right? Just like DJI did. I think that was great when I saw that on that update that they had on the firmware where that wheel was doing it to add a digital zoom. I think that was a great idea. It might be a calibration thing in the gimbal. That might be too. You might be right with that. That is the error I get when I turn it on with the NDs installed. Let's turn it on and see what it does. Another thing that bothers me about this whole thing is that, let's say you start up your controller and you do not have the Autel app on. I think it still should. See, remote control and mobile phone disconnected. And that's simply because you started up the damn controller and then you have to plug in this damn wire in order to get for it to connect. And I think that's stupid. I don't think they should have that. See, I just started it up. I don't have the issue. I don't know. Yeah, she's good to go. Sorry. Yeah, she's, I don't know. Huh. Let's change it out. What do you think? We're going to change it out? Turn off everything. Yeah, that's another thing that they should change. Is like when you start up the controller, automatically hook up to your damn phone. Like, why do we have to disconnect the damn wire all the time? Come on. So let's turn this sucker off. So for turning it, I mean, for taking off these things, I usually fold in one arm slightly so I have access to this whole thing. And then I open it up because I'm going to be able, it's hard to see right now, but I'm going to be able to hold both things in place because you do not really want to play around with this gimbal because they're so sensitive. And $1,000 for just this gimbal right here, that's a lot of money, guys. And you don't want to lose that money. So I'll just took this one off. And let's say you said the ND4, right? This is the ND4 right here. So I'm going to put on the ND4. And I'm going to screw that sucker on. There we go. And let's see what she will do, huh? Hot rod. Maybe it's just your drone. Maybe the calibration. Auto may need to adjust the numbers. Yeah, I need to test them all. I ignored an error message and it seems fine. Yeah, see, that's the thing about it. Okay, so let's start this sucker up. This is now with the ND filter, the ND4 installed. So let's start up the controller. And let's see. See, and then you have to wait until the controller is almost powering up, almost done. Then you plug in your phone and then it connects. But it should start up automatically. Like Parrot does it. The moment you start up, the moment you, I don't know, I don't get it. It's like, oh no, the controller actually starts up the moment you open up the antenna. That's right. I don't know. Might be something to think about. See, I don't have the error message, even though with that thing attached. And can I arm it? Yep, it arms. So that, I don't know why. Let's see if there's a difference now that I go back on gimbal, and let's do gimbal calibration. This is now with the ND4. I had, which one was on earlier? So it's adjusting the gimbal right now. Let's see. This one's the ND8. So obviously I'm only using like ND8 and 16. This is pretty much the only ones that I use. And I hope that Freewell is gonna sell them separately for like, I don't know, like $8 a pop or $5 a pop. I don't know. I mean, this whole set for 130, and that's like 8 of them, and it says all day. But what means all day these days? You know what I mean? So see, it still gives you that error message. The gimbal is not ready to fly. Do not fly. Gimbal is not ready to fly. Can I arm the drone? Yeah, as soon as I arm the drone, that message on the side goes away, and I'm able to, yeah, as you guys can see in the bottom left, you can see that I'm moving the gimbal around, and the gimbal should be stabilizing. See, the gimbal does work, even though it says gimbal is not ready, so it's kind of off. But this 2.50 version has been proven to be faulty anyways, so let's hope everything else turns out great with it. And what else does come with the filters? Let's see. Yeah, mine's on flies fine too, so it might be just wrong with that. So, it comes with this lifetime warranty things, whatever that means. Buy with confidence. How can you print something dark gray on something black? All Freewell filters carry a lifetime quality and manufacturing warranty to protect you from all but user damage that can occur. See? Lifetime warranty. While they're in your care. The warranty is not transferable. It belongs to you alone. So does that mean my warranty is warranted through the original Dovo since I didn't buy it? Hey, Freewell, if you see this, maybe you can answer that question. It belongs to you. Okay. It does not cover secondhand purchases from unauthorized sellers. Well, I didn't buy it. I got it as a gift. To make a claim, include a date, receipt, naming. I'm going to use my video. That will be my date of purchase. Nah. And then it comes with this card, the Learning Basics, and it has like that QR code on top that you can check in. And once you scan it there, I guess it's going to tell you everything about how to fly at night, nighttime shooting, and all that stuff. So it pretty much Freewell is making their own little tutorial. So if you guys want to try it out, let me see if I can put. I'll leave this right here. So now if you pause my video, if you watch it later and you pause the video, you might be able to scan this QR code in and see what it does. So, and then we'll see from there, huh, guys? And it comes with this neat little, the wipey thing for your filters if you don't use microfiber like I do. And it has a neat little manual. So it tells you pretty much like everything like bright daylight and what you got to do with the PL filters and the ND. It shows here ND 128, 256 and stuff. I guess these ones are for like long exposure. And then get ND8GR for landscape. I don't know. I have just the regular variables, the ones that I showed you guys pretty much in my video. And the difference on those is if you go on this one, I hope I turned off the sound. No, of course not. So that's pretty much share screen. There we go. And pretty much in my video, if you haven't seen it already, these ones are like the standard cover. It has the ND8, the PL variable. And I'm going to go through all of these pretty much in this video, and I'll show you how they all look like. These ones are all, I have to turn them all first to the rating that they are the correct rating at like ND32. Because sometimes if you turn them, I think they turn half of it, like 16, and the 32 is the max. And then when you turn them, they turn lighter. Some of them turn lighter. And then the non-variables is just like, this is what you're going to get. This is the 4, and you got to play around with the aperture. These ones are my favorites, like the 8 and the 16s, because you can use them for like overcast, for direct sunlight with the 16, because it's pretty nice and dark. And afterwards in post, you can adjust the colors if you need a little bit more saturation or less saturation, whatever. But the saturation is usually pretty good. Like with this one was the ND4. I had it on f4.0 because the sun was actually behind me, but it's behind cloud cover, sort of. And this one was direct sunlight in there, the ND32. So that was pretty much the max. This one was a sunrise, and I still got color in the bottom. Uh, this one was the 64 is doing sunset. And if you see, when you look at it, it's direct sunlight into your lens, and there's like, you can barely see anything in the bottom. So when you try shoot video with the drone, you try to have light coming either directly from the top or from behind you anyway. So it doesn't really matter. The filters are just going to help you to adjust everything with the shutter speed to make the videos flow smoother in my eyes. This one was a subdivision where people are building and stuff, and I took some pictures for them. And this one was a small little area that I found where the kids would go down there with the canoe to jump off that rock. And yeah, I'm really fond of these filters. They're like really good. I really like these filters. I'm a big fan of it. Let me catch up with the chat right there. Mine popped a message about starting app. Maybe a false error. Yeah. What do the white lines on the polarized filters indicate? There are white lines? Oh, it's when you line them up, it tells you where's the 0 point. So it's like if you put them on like to the top, I know you guys can't see it right now, but if you put them upwards and then you start twisting this thing, it turns darker. So it's pretty much just like gives you an indication on where to start off from. That's what those white lines are for. Like every other ND filter, these ones, they're pretty good because you can pretty much, if you set it to the side, the white line is on this side right now and it sits right here. So now if you start turning and you know where your Freewell logo was going, you know pretty much like, okay, so this is how far I can go. And when you turn this, they turn lighter or darker. So that's what those white lines are for. They're guidelines for you to know where you started turning. After 50 minutes of flight, guarantee you forgot where you started off. But what do the okay? So what? That white line should be pointed towards the direction of the sun. It actually it's just a guideline for you to know where you started with, pretty much. Cuts down the glare the most from. Yeah, well, I tried that, and I had actually. The problem is when you screw these on, like with the white line, and you start screwing on because it's a thread. They stop somewhere on their own. So pretty much, it's a guideline for you to know where you want to turn it to a certain part. Uh, it's hard to tell how to explain this. Um, it pretty much like when you're looking from the side, you can see how it. Maybe that's the reason why this person who commented on my stuff said that he had rings in it. It might be that his filter, the PF filters that he had, and he was using that, he had them adjusted the wrong way. Because I had on one of my shots, after this person said it, I was going through all my shots against the sunset and the sunrise. And that's when I seen actually that at some point, while turning the drone into a certain way, I had that ring in the bottom. So it might be from that PL filter. But that's why I use the non-variables, because it's a constant and you play around with the aperture. So that seems to be better anyways. Thanks. And the 4 and 8 looks really good for my personal opinion. Yes, 4 and 8 is great. I like it. I like my favorites are 8 and 16. The 4s are for Hawaii, I guess, because our sunlight over here is sometimes really bright. I think the 4 is good for like overcast and stuff. It'll catch it really good. I like to shoot some still images of waterfalls with those filters. You probably can. I wouldn't see why not. It's for the superior in which way the sun is. Okay. Yeah. They should make one ND variable 4-stop. That will work for me. Yeah, well, like I said, it's when are you going to adjust it while it's in the air? You have to land it first, and then you have to turn it to have it to the point that you want it by the time you get back up. There might be a cloud that sits in front of it, so it doesn't really make sense in my eyes. It's kind of contradicting. Like it's far away up there. It's not adjustable for you on the go. It's pretty much like land it first, then turn it. And I do not suggest to turn this sucker too hard or touch the gimbal at the time when it's still activated. And by the time you turn it off, adjust the stuff to your liking, whatever, you know what I mean? There's two edges to that sword. You don't want to turn the the lens or activate or touch the gimbal while the drone is active, but you can't adjust it while it's off because you're not going to be able to see it. So it's kind of weird, no? So that's why I think that those 4.8s, the 16s, all the way up to 32, maybe it would be great. That stuff would be way better. Polar Pro might maybe coming out with some. That's not a maybe. That's a guarantee. The Latitude versus everyone else for the ND. Yes. So I don't think that when you look at it this way, I don't think that you should be able to adjust these PL things. I think they're useless. In my opinion, they are useless because you don't want to sacrifice your gimbal by keep touching it, going like this and moving it. Because even if you just want to slightly touch it, the gimbal will be under stress and will be working against it. And you never know what you're causing with that. These things sometimes can be super sensitive and sometimes they can be super solid. With this, I don't know. I'm just trying to prevent to have a buy another $1,000 what's up with the warranty anyways if you remove this? So if you put filters on and the gimbal, let's say you play around with the front and the gimbal breaks, that's a user error. Are you avoiding your warranty using these filters? Question to ask, I think. Same direction the entire time. Yes, that's correct. Keep in mind your latitude. Okay, so yeah. Hey, Agent, what's up, Agent? How you doing? Sorry, I missed it. Like I said, I'm hoping that Freewell is coming out with just 3 or 4 of these filters that are the non-variables. It would be way better for people instead of buying a whole kit for like 130. I mean, yeah, it's better for them to sell the whole thing, and it is a good kit. I mean, if you really want to have the option to be out there with that, if you can afford it, $130 is still a lot of money for a lot of people. So, I mean, just look at me. Mine had to be given to me because I'm poor. I'm a poor Hawaiian. What's up, Jeremy? Aloha, Ricky. Aloha from Oregon. All right, Oregon. There's a lot of Hawaiians living in Oregon nowadays. Utah and Oregon. I've just literally received my EVO 2 Pro today. We'll be making a YouTube video thanking you and original. You need to thank. What are you thanking me for? 149. What do you mean 149? No, it's 129. No, I thought it was 129. Am I losing it? I'm losing it. No, it shows 129.99, my friend. And currently sold out on Amazon, as Jay Waters found out. Mr. Waters found out about that. He found out that it sold out, and I actually clicked on the link just to verify that it's true. Amazon is currently out of ND filters for this. So I don't know if you're watching, but whoever bought a what is this thing called? Somebody bought a camera, and it was the Blackmagic 6K camera for $2,000, and he bought it based off clicking off one of my links. So I wanted to tell you thank you for that because they gave me $80 for that one. So don't return it. Anyways. Yes, they're currently sold out. So $129.99 is what I had. So I spent $75 on filters and I thought that was expensive. Any money is expensive because every single one of you guys is working hard for your money. It doesn't matter what it is. Even though if you get retirement right now, you did work for the last 30 years for it. So just saying, money is money, and it's a lot of money. All these things. This is a expensive hobby, guys. Like besides this, these propellers. One of my friends, who also watches these, said he paid $18 for 2 of them, and yeah, so don't shred your propellers. It's gonna be $20 right there. You know what I mean? And for these ones, 129 or $130 for these, 129.99, or plus shipping probably. Then it comes out like maybe 149. I don't know, but anything is a lot of money, even if it's just $10. You know what I mean? $10 is a lot of money too. Like my oh yeah, all my stuff is down there. But for that low budget, for the drones, the low budget accessories, that was kind of devastating for me. Like, there were a couple of things that are like super cheap that are really cheap and that you don't want to use on your drone. Yeah, shipping. That's right, Ricky. Because you and original are the reason why I got this beautiful machine. All right, I'll take it. I'll take it. So don't thank us yet though. Do me a favor, go fly it first for like 2 weeks before you change your mind, okay? Fly it for like 2 weeks every day. Get in like 30 flights, 40 flights, and fly it for like 50 miles, and then you can tell us if you still like it or not. So B&H has them for 15 for props. Yeah, but then you still gotta pay shipping too. Well, Hawaii, I don't know. Over here, it's always bad. Like you want to ship something to Hawaii, USPS always makes like we don't belong to the United States. You know what I mean? We're the 50th state, and everything is more expensive to come to us. Yes, Jeremy, do that, please. Fly it first. Make sure that you're really, really sure about this bird. And I mean, I'm pretty sure you will be. But I just got a text today. Somebody else had the same issue that I had with mine's on, with these lines over here on their arms. So please keep an eye on this. You don't want to lose your drone, because I just was watching my footage the other day from when I was filming it myself with the cell phone, and it was really, whew, this drone has some major kinks once in a while. Even when I was filming this video that I made about the ND filters, I flew her backwards, and at some point she made a weird noise, and it sounded almost like that my arms was vibrating again. And if you hover this sucker in front of you, not too close, of course, I'm not saying fly it into your head, but if you just slightly feel these arms, there's a lot of vibration going on in there. I mean, yeah, guarantee you have vibration, and that might be the reason why they put these longer arms here. I have no idea. But I'm not quite sure if this design is the best design in the world. It makes me wonder once in a while, especially when you look underneath these. Why is it this not one piece? I mean, if you would have these as one piece and you would go run the wire right through it, and it's a one solid piece to mount the motor on it, and you avoid this whole thing underneath here, I think it would be way better, and it would give it a lot more stability based on that there's a lot of vibration with these motors that are caused in there. So please be careful. Always keep an eye on it and make sure that you guys, I mean, it's a lot of money, guys, that is going to go down the drain if you guys don't do your guys pre-flight checks. I know sometimes there's a nice shot and you really want to get that bird up in the air, but please do me a favor. Be safe and vigilant about it. Check everything first. Make sure that your propellers are mounted correctly. Make sure that your arms don't have any cracks. Make sure that your battery is fully loaded. And I see a lot of guys already online that actually flew this damn drone, and they went further out than they could look, and they ran it to like 30%. And this sucker has an issue with, once she reaches like 10%, sometimes she like come down already. Her calculation for this whole battery thing are kind of off. So she the other day she was 15 feet away from me, maybe like 30 feet tall, and was going through some trees. But because I was going through slow in that precision mode, she calculated that if I would keep going that way, I wouldn't make it back home, just because I'm like 30 feet away from me. And that's not right. You know what I mean? Like she literally wanted to come back down, and there was like bushes and shit underneath. Oh, anyways, but yeah, so I had to bring her back, and I landed her in front of me, changed out the battery. And so be careful. Once you reach like 30%, bring her back home already, change it all, put a new battery, and put the other one in for charge. Don't even go further than that. Fox Fury. B&H is free shipping. B&H is free shipping if you spend $49 and up. Oh, I didn't even know that. I barely buy anything from B&H. I wonder if you can help design some sort of weight for the arms to counterbalance the vibration, just like the seating fans. Right? That would be a cool idea. Hey, Colombia, Freddy. What's up, Colombia? Greetings to Colombia. The firmware is off. Other day, mine said it was 20 feet when it was 10 feet off the ground. Yeah, And I had it too when I wanted to land the other day, and she just kept going, like pushing into the ground, and the motors were spooling up, and nothing else was mounted to it at that time. She just was there, and I looked at the numbers too, and she showed me 5 feet while she was like 10 feet above the ground, and she kept going down, and then I was like, huh? And then as soon as she touched the ground, it showed that it was going -1, -2, -3. She was still counting while pulling up the motors. Like she almost calculated her own stuff, her own speed. And I was like, huh? So I pushed the stick back up and I pushed her back down. And then I had to go to a different location to land her. She was totally off. Some reason, like I said, I'm hoping they're going to update this firmware soon because this 2.50 seems to be a devastating thing for a lot of people. And some people have lost their drones. So there's a lot of people out there that are actually not really happy with Autel right now. And that's not good. Right there, I've just made you rich. Well, if you came up with the idea, it's in writing right here. So that's a contract, no? So you came up with the idea, not me. Not taking your battery down too far is also good for the health of them. Yes, that's correct. And usually I don't fly it that much lower. And even if I stay like close, usually like 10% is like the max that I do. What's up, brother? North Degree, what's up? North Degree, how you guys doing? I appreciate all of you guys coming by because I know Ken Heron is having his show right now and he's probably earning a hell of a lot of money with all these super stickers and stuff. But I just wanted to talk to you guys about this drone. As always, just regular chilling grill. Tell everybody hi. Show you guys these filters and pretty much like how I experienced it. I'm gonna make a head talk video because apparently some people didn't like my last video. That it was not as informative. I hide a lot of information in there, guys. You guys gotta just listen to Mary. But I'm gonna make a head talk video if that's what people prefer, and I will show in close up how you mount these filters and how much they weigh. And I actually wanted to make a comparison video too of like how to fly it when you fly it with a shutter speed. I'm not quite sure if that comes out good in post, where I actually increase the shutter speed to make it darker and all that stuff. But we'll see how it goes. And then I definitely gonna make one. Currently, I'm working on a video that was hardly requested by somebody how to roll back these drivers. And I actually figured out a way how to roll back the drivers, even though it shows up on the Autel app. You actually have to delete the Autel app as well. When you roll back the drivers. So otherwise, the drivers will stay on the last known version, just in the firmware version in your app. So it gives you a false indication in there. I figured it out the hard way because it took me like 6.5 hours re-rolling drivers constantly, and they probably were re-rolled already after 30 minutes. So yes, give a thumbs up. I mean, we have 14 people watch, we have 16 likes. How is that possible? I appreciate it. Uh, Okay, what else? I'm very, very careful with mine right now. Yes, I'm careful with mine on too. I don't go anywhere loss of sight, although sometimes I'm tempted to because sometimes some shots are super nice. I mean, Hawaii is a nice area to fly. It's just it's just so scary. $2,000, man. And what else? That's super scary. My wife isn't going to let me buy another one. Yes, me neither. My wife is gonna kick my butt if I crash this sucker. She's gonna be so mad at me. I'm not gonna be able to buy any other equipment anymore. I'm posted one showing the zoom today. Oh, I didn't even get to that yet because I had to go filming earlier. Should I avoid the yes, please avoid the 2.50 right now. You do not need the smart orbit at this time, Jeremy. You do not have to update to 2.50. Wait for the next firmware to come up. And yeah, just like Hot Rod told you, please don't use 2.50. 50 is nice to have with the EXP. I think that is the particular reason why this drone is acting so weird. I think it has to do with their adjustment of sensitivity and EXP settings. Something in the signal wise is giving the drone the wrong indication on how to move. And that might be a reason why she's gliding off or I don't know. So even yesterday, I flew her and I told her to go slightly forward, and she was going so fast forward, she almost crashed into a tree. And I was like, "What's going on?" And I brought her back, landed her, turned off, and I was like, "Oh hell no, I'm not going to do this right now." Another thing is, if you lose GPS signal with 2.50, it is really bad. If your GPS signal is low or whatever, she does make weird things. So I figured out already you can't be closer to cars. You can't land her or start her from the back of your truck because it always gives you that weird magnetic interference thing. On bridges made out of metal, she has an issue with that too. So even if you fly through it, sometimes your signal gets cut. So be careful with that. I flew underneath three bridges the other day. I got some beautiful shots for somebody and I was going through it, but be careful. That metal and all that stuff seems to interfere really with the signal. And she just stopped at some point and she just hovered there. And I was like, hello. And I was doing the thumb action and she wasn't going anywhere until I walked onto the bridge and I literally held my controller like this and over everything. I almost popped out my phone, so my phone would have gone like 80 feet down into the river. And then the drone started flying out. And I was like, what the hell? So be careful with metal anywhere around metal. This thing does not like metal at all. Okay, what else? You should do a video on Zoom. Set no more. For me, 4 times is about as high as you can go and not mess up the video. That's what I do. I usually use, if you guys, okay, so if you look at cinematic shots, nowadays cinematic shots is pretty much like everything is about having some foreground and something on the side. Come on, are you gonna stay like this? Let's try this. Right there. So now let's say this is your drone. And it nowadays it's not about how high you're in it. It's how close you can go in between these obstacles, right? Now, if you put your drone in zoom mode ×2, you can still be here, but it looks like the drone is somewhere close down here. So that will save you a lot of headache too. Just go up here, go into zoom ×2, ×4, and just fly forward. And it looks like literally if you have the forward shot, the forward push shot in, it looks really close and it looks really impressive, but actually it's in 2 times, 4 times zoom. So you're gonna start looking at footage from other people in a little bit different light too. So not everybody is like always like in between stuff. One of the nicest shot is the pullback shot. With a pullback shot, if you have the whole landscape in front of you and you have something that is underneath that you want to reveal and you pull back like this and it starts popping up left and right and on the sides and stuff, that looks really good too. And especially when you go on ×2 ×4 zoom, it actually looks closer. So nobody really knows what to expect when you do a pullback shot and all these things popping up, the tree over here, that stuff over here. It catches like the attention, yeah. So that's a pretty good thing. And yeah, use that zoom to your advantage. Just don't go further than that and keep trying. I know sometimes you only have a location one time and you have that one-time deal shot. Hey, if it works out, it works out. If not, oh well, move on, you know. What else we have? Me 4 times. Thanks. What is your Instagram so I can tag you my test with the CPL? My Instagram is 808_state with a 3 at the end, not an E. So just like how it is written right here on that video. It's weird to do this right there. It's just with an underscore instead of the minus. That's my Instagram. I also have, I think on the tag somewhere on the bottom right of my channel banner, I think there's an Instagram link too. Maybe I should find my FEMI 2020 for a while to figure out what's going on, brother. Well, I think that it's the firmware, Ricky. The firmware is really junk right now. So I don't know why people I don't get it. I don't know what the developers are doing right now, why it takes them so long to respond to all these people. I mean, it was an outcry quick as soon as 2.50 came out, and a lot of people had hovering issues, and they should be jumping on it like in no time because if they really want to keep these people as customers and stuff, I mean, yeah, they spend their $2,000 already, and now they can say, oh, yeah, you crashed it. Live with it. But I mean, some people apparently experiencing that not as good as I had it experience. I cannot say nothing bad about these guys right now. Open field and beaches is where I fly mine at the moment since I don't trust it. Yeah, and that's the bad part. If you can't trust your drone because of the firmware issues, or you're just not sure if she will do what you want to do, that's bad. I mean, that's why take it out. You know what I mean? Why even give it a try? She might even mess up in there and just keeps going and fly away. You don't know. So far, I have not seen any reported flyaways. I just have seen crashes. And I think they pretty much, you can tell these crashes are based on either the propellers popping up Or like I had this crack in the arm. I just got a message today from somebody. He has the same crack and he sent me a picture. So that's something to watch out for, guys. Just do 2.33. Yes, just do the 2.33. I can't keep up. So I don't want. I waited 3 months for my door, and now I'm afraid to fly in. No, don't be afraid. Just try it. Be close. Like if you have a nice area, nice open area, go test it out first, because that's how you learn how to fly these expensive drones, anyways. Because I flew this sucker right here, my Paragon Offie. When it first came out, it was like about the $560 range, and that sucker, I crashed it like a week later, and I was a beginner in that, and then I just kept going and going and going. I crashed it how many times into the ground and whatnot, fixed it up how many times, and then finally now the gimbal gave out. That's why I upgraded to this. And yeah, you got to be cautious about it more because it's way more money. It's 4 times the amount of money than the Paragon Offie, but it is a way more solid drone. The quality is so much different, like especially the filming quality. So instead of just wildly going out there and just fly wherever and think, oh, this is going to be a great shot, think about it. Give yourself time to think about your shot first, calculate it through, plan it out, and then go and do it. And as soon as you do it slow. I figured out a lot of times people are rushing things, and that's not good. Take your time, because when you watch footage, your footage is never fast like this, and it's never fast forward. Or the only time it's fast forward or going through obstacles is when they fly FPV, and those guys have been crashing drones for months, even years, and they're really good at it. I mean, look at Original Dobo. He's been flying his FPV now for several months, and he's getting really good at it and better, and he can fly through his hula hoop freaking soccer goal over there, and he's getting better, but he still crashes. So now with these GPS quads, you don't have that luxury to just, oh, I'm just going to crash it one time. These FPV drones are way more solid and everything. These ones, they have the obstacle avoidance for a reason, and they have all these things because you want to go smooth. All the shots that are cinematic, all the shots that look really beautiful, they're all smooth and slow. So take your time, do it smooth. Smooth is fast, fast is good. You know what I mean? So therefore, you get the best footage the moment you take your time and plan it out. Don't just jump into it. Okay. What else do we have here? Open fields, beaches, don't fly and don't fly. Oh yeah, it just jumped. And don't fly near obstacles, and you'll be fine. You can fly near obstacles. Just be careful. That's why you get obstacle avoidance. If it's within 30 feet, it will slow you down already. So be careful. You do crash, knock on wood, Autel is very good at replacing them. Yes, so far I have seen a lot of people that said that. I mean, if it is reason on their behalf that they did wrong, yeah, then they're replacing it. They're really good at it. Of rolling back. Yes, I am working on that, and the problem is I tried filming some stuff while I was doing the rollback video on the firmware, and I forgot that my because I'm using wireless with my camera, and this thing requires batteries, and the battery died halfway through. So I got to redo the whole video. That means I got to roll back all my stuff again, do it again. But now that I've done it over and over, so definitely we're going to talk story about it. Just tagged your brother, shot in D-Log, and did my great with a lot. All right. I'm going to check it out, no degree, as soon as we're done with this live stream. I should have never upgraded firmware. The 2.3 version was way better. Now I'm a little gun shy. Yes, steep and deep. Same here. As soon as the 2.50 came out, and I was like, oh, okay. So I updated and went in it. And as soon as I lifted up, she was going somewhere. It's like, hey, where you going? So I landed it. Then I did a compass calibration. I did gimbal calibration, and it subsided after that. So she still flies good. And then I did all my EXP settings and all that stuff. But once in a while, she still has it where she either stops or she just doesn't want to move, or she just moves really slow, and then she moves real fast. So she get those kinks in there, and I think it's that EXP sensitivity settings in the firmware that is causing that. I should have never upgraded. Okay, I had a flyaway. You had a flyaway? Oh my god. With the EVO 2, Auto should remove the 2.5 firm from the website. Yes, they should. It might be way better. Took off and went full speed ahead in the grass. No ways. That's a nightmare. I hope that never happens to me or anybody. I mean, apparently it happened to you. I'm so sorry, bro. You ever look into insurance? I did look at insurance. You know, that's the funny part. So I looked at insurance, and every state is different. Yeah. So state of Hawaii is special. Again, we're special. We're always special. More like special ed, guys. So you try to get insurance for this. So I call Allstate. They don't cover any of drone insurance. I call a State Farm. The State Farm. Ours, I know. Oh no, State Farm Hawaii. We don't cover drones. I call a couple other companies that stay around here and permit insurance and whatnot. All these weirdo guys. And then finally, somebody from some itsy bitsy tiny little man insurance. The guy tells me, if you have a drone, as long as you're not operating it, it is covered under your homeowner's insurance if you own a home. Did you know that? I didn't even know that. So you can claim it under that if you're not operating it. So I told him, so what if I'm operating it and it falls down, it crashes into your own? Really? So I really have to look into it that I finally maybe can find somebody who's going to insure that stuff because everything else is business insurance here in Hawaii. So if you are out there, you flying in Hawaii and you have insurance for your drone, hit me up. I want to know how that works because over here on the Big Island, I can't get nothing for it. So nobody wants to give me insurance. I don't know it. Either they know that I'm reckless, they don't trust me, or they just don't want to do this whole drone thing. I have no idea. So tried last night to track my boat and could never get it to lock on. Don't know if it's also the firmware issue. The tracking actually works better for me in 2.50. It didn't work out as well for me for 2.33. It didn't help that my wife is going like lead foot and she was going like 100 miles an hour away from the drone. But now it is way better for me because I tried track myself on a motorcycle. So I sat on a bike and I flew up and now you actually can track from further away. Before it was the issue you couldn't track far away. You always had to be like super close and then she would track you. And now I think I was like 80 feet tall. I mean, up and like 100 feet away. And I marked myself. She followed me, which was pretty good. I mean, of course, I only was going like 25, 30 miles an hour. She still flies weird though. When she tracks you, she goes like this weird sideways thing. And the obstacle avoidance kicked in twice because I guess the way she's leaning this way when she's turning, and there was nothing there, and she just stopped. And then I looked down while I was riding my bike, and and it said that there was an obstacle approaching. So I think it had to do with that big container that was coming up. So I don't know, man. So what else do we have? Have you done a video on missions waypoints? I am working on that, but I stopped it with 2.50 because always it's somehow disconnected during the mission waypoints, and I'm making a really cool video about it, and it's more like a movie, but it has the missions in there and it explains how it works. You know how I do my weird stuff with Mary and stuff, but I had to stop because ever since the update in 2.50, when I start doing my missions and I want her to fly and create a map and all that stuff, she stops halfway through because she disconnects or my phone restarts and then she comes back, return home, even though I choose the option for her to continue on. And the other time when she came back home, instead of coming back to where she started, she flew to the opposite side of the field, and that was not good. So she did that twice, and I was like, I'm done. I'm gonna wait until there's a new firmware out. So you guys have to wait on that mission thing until I'm done with that. So I agree, State Farm. Personal article coverage for drones is a good deal. Have you done a video? Machines, my this freaking chat is driving me nuts. It keeps jumping up, My State Farm was $45 for a $1,000 coverage on MA2. Okay. I think Ken had said he crashed his Mavic Air twice. One time he got in a hurry and didn't do compass calibration first. See? Reading the comments, guys. Just practice and learn how to track and order manually, tweak your remote settings and flights. Check with your State Farm agents. Some might know how about it. Yeah, Hawaii doesn't allow. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, Hawaii seems to be so special about everything. So, but when you yourself down to 60, you tried all the way down to 60 feet and not locked. Wow, that's weird. Outdoors don't boat. Drone. It's like texting there. Don't boat and drone. Well, I was flying drone and I was riding a bike. So Just finally got my filters and wondering how well they perform after waiting a month to get them. First time they sent me the ones for the. Yes, I've seen that. You said it before, so now you finally got your filters. Like I said, I prefer the 4, 8, and 16 filters. They're really good. You can play around with the aperture. If you do use the 32s and 64s, I only recommend them pretty much like for direct sunlight, like looking into a sunset, sunrise, whatever it is. The 32s are actually still better because you still can play around with the aperture, while the 64s are really, really dark. So all if you just want to catch the sunrise or just the sun itself and the clouds, it's gonna look beautiful. I mean, those 64s, they're really dark. So I mean, yeah, and for picture taking, because they you have to do with exposure and long exposure and all that stuff. So you gotta look for that kind of stuff. I still have to figure out most of this stuff on the drone, especially via photo taking, because most of the stuff that I do is all video. I don't really believe in pictures because pictures is just a glimpse of a moment, while the video shows the whole thing. Yeah, that is one reason I like DJI. I like, yeah, I know DJI is paying for you in Hawaii though. Yeah, one of these days I will get me a DJI just to try it out to see if it's so much, if it's really as bad as I always think, because I see some of my friends using it and they're they have so many issues. They can't fly here, they can't fly there, they can't take off here. Well, I'm just flying my Parrot enough here, flying my Autel EVO 2, and just smile and you know. So one of these days, I'm gonna pick me up a DJI if I have the money for it. Hopefully, a Mavic Air 2. I hear a lot of good things about it, and it has the smart controller. So if Autel would hurry up, then hopefully you can get a better controller, because this controller is junk. Like after trying out all these other things and actually trying out on hand a smart controller with somebody who had a DJI, it is so much different. Like, why is this thing? Okay, so you bring out a brand new drone that is $2,000 worth, and you still keep the old controller? Yeah, Autel, come on, you can do better than that. Got my filters. Okay, I need you to send me written instructions for that downgrade. It's pretty much you have. I have all the upgrades for it. Every single one of them, every single firmware, and then you have to downgrade literally from where it is like the restart, the reset to factory, how the drone first came. And then you have to delete the app. And from there, you have to reinstall the app, and then you have to upgrade to 2.33 and all those things. And they're all going to run through. So now the thing is that if you don't have the old version of that app that was first given to your phone, you shit out of luck, literally, because you're not going to be able to reset the drivers, because the driver's going to memorize the last one from 2.50. So that's why I try to go all the way back, and that includes the Autel app. That's the funny part. You got to do the Autel app as well. Otherwise, the number is not going to go down. It's still going to have the old driver, but it's going to have the new number, and that seems to interfere somehow with the controls too. So driving a boat is easier than a drone. Have a friend drive the boat point away from any area you track the boat. So you're doing the factory reset and then 2.3. That's correct. You upgrade to 2.50 over the air or the SD card. SD card, SD card, and USB-C. I mean USB in the controller. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. Last question, my man. They are for 4K. Does that mean you can't use them for 6K? You can. You can use them for 6K. It's just 4K all day long. I did use it for 6K and I had no problems using it. I mean, the video that you've seen on this last one that I did, the ND filters, I filmed most of the stuff in 6K. So yeah. And we are here since, Jesus, this is the longest stream I've ever had. I love the lift or tablet holder, the phone attachment. Optional. My Note 9 would not fit with phone cover, but it's really comfortable. Yes, definitely. If that lift door, I've seen a lot, but $400, man, that's, and plus I don't know how to install them. I'm scared of those kind of things because that if I mess up on this, then poof, I'm done. Did you do much color correction in the last one? Nope, I don't. I don't. If you guys didn't know yet, I do not know how to color correct. So I don't shoot in log. I shoot just how it goes straight out and I use the footage as it is. Sometimes the only thing that I adjust is the brightness and the contrast. That's it. I don't touch the color wheels. I don't touch nothing else. I just leave it as is, and that's pretty much it. So I thought I saw a menu in the app where you can tune RGB CMY values. Did I imagine this in a dream? I can't find it. When doing a color test, there's a bad shift in magenta blues and red. I don't know. I never looked for that. Let's find out right now. Let's start this sucker up and look at it. I don't know. You gotta start the drone up too? We'll just start them up. Let's give this a try. Let's see in the options if there's anything in there. Let's go through it. It might be under if you switch over to phone. I mean to photo. Maybe there's something in there. Let's see. Photo. Is there anything in there? Let's see. Visual. No, it's remote control. Image transmission. Aircraft battery. Battery details. Gimbal. And general home point. No, I don't see anything in there. I do not see anything in there, even under the advanced settings. I don't see any of that stuff in there. I heard always say a few times he doesn't like the EVO magnetic color shift. Yeah, I've seen that in his videos too, where he has that bluish stuff with his where he flies around his what is that, water tank? Yeah, I only have these things in here. So there's only the image transmission, battery, not even on the general. Voiceovers. Nope. I don't see any of that stuff. So I don't. Let's see in the bottom over here, JPEG color. The only way that you can there's the style on the neutral. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. The style is just that's weird. Neutral, low, standard. It might have to do with because I use the white balance a lot in order to shift colors. Like if you want it a little bit colder and stuff, you go higher. If you want it warmer, you go lower. So, but mine's one is mainly always set to like around the 5K, 53, 54, 55K area. So that's pretty much like how I film most of my stuff. Plus, I make sure that the sunlight is coming from either behind or straight down from the top. So I get the best out of the colors. I try to follow with the light rays to where I want to go. And if I do film against the light and I want the sun rays to come through, I use artificial smoke spray can, spray it around over there and just leave it. But usually it's too windy, so it blows it right away. But sometimes we get like really wind still days where it's like really good. And with that, if you fly against the sun and you have those rays coming through with that artificial smoke, it comes out really nice. So I can't find it in my downloads. I don't know if it's still in their site. I always download it and leave it on my PC, so I never lose those things. Only really notice it though when it is side by side with the Mavic. I don't think it's really bad. We do much photography or mostly video, Ron. I do a lot of videos, so sometimes I do photos like landscape and all that stuff and like property management and all those things, but not for like the beauty of it, because like I said, I'm not a big photo kind of guy. uh I don't even think I have the eye for the photo. I have an eye for the visual, like video, how to make a video, how to tell a story, how to film. And it's more appealing to me. A picture is just a split moment. Sometimes split moments are really cool if you have to interpret into it what it is, but video is like my thing to go to. My color checker in D-Log, the reds register as orange, magneto register as red and blue. See, I don't film in D-Log. I film in the standard colors, and I adjust my white balance, and I make sure that my shutter speed and everything matches with the video. And that's pretty much how I got my videos. There's not much science to it, guys. Sometimes I think if you're overthinking too much and you want to color correct and you want to do certain things, I think that's when people get into trouble, when they mess up or they have this. I think they're overthinking it too much because, I mean, look at my footage. My footage comes out great and I barely touch the colors. I don't touch the color wheels at all, you know? I can see it in a moment, but video takes more vision to think ahead. I think I'm the opposite. I think photos take way more because you got to catch that moment. I think photographers are really good at it because they see what they're looking at it and they planning it all. Well, videographers, hey, if you go for the shot, and it didn't work, and you go back and you do it again. Yeah, with photos you can't do that. I mean, yeah, you can take more pictures, but sometimes to get to that moment, it's, I don't know, it's, I guess everybody has their own preference in it. But yeah, guys, we're over 1 hour already, so I'm gonna cut it right here. This is pretty much what I wanted to tell you guys about the filters. I appreciate all you guys coming by, especially since Ken Heron is still going. Um, and then stay tuned for the next video coming up. Yes, I'm a perfectionist too, especially with my video stuff. And definitely stay tuned for the next one that comes up. I appreciate you guys all. You guys take it easy. Have a great day. Don't forget, COVID-19 is still out there. It's freaking bugs trying to get you. Wear a mask, wash your hands, and be safe, everybody. Take it easy. Aloha.